What's going on, everyone? Looks like we're live. Hopefully everything sounds okay. Sounds pretty good to me, I guess, right here. But what I'm doing today, as you can see, there's a ticker. We might call that a ticker in English. There's a ticker going across the bottom of the screen that lets you know I'm just looking over my notes today. The real live stream will be tomorrow. It's going to be about the state of Kentucky. I've been researching Kentucky all weekend, and I'm finding some pretty cool things about Kentucky. So on the YouTube channel and on Facebook, what I'm trying to do is explain all 50 states. Might take me a couple years to do that, but so far we've done, I think, 4 states already: Alaska, Nevada, Vermont, Arkansas. So we've done 4. Kentucky will be the 5th, and that will be on YouTube on my other channel. This is on American English Guy 2. I don't stream here too often, and it will be on Facebook. So, but right now this is not the real lesson. I'm just going through my notes, reading them. Maybe it's a good preview for tomorrow's lesson. So if you're watching now and then you come back tomorrow, you will hear the information twice. So just practicing here. And I am on school vacation, so I don't have to work in the summer. So I have a little extra time, and I thought, why not get on Facebook? Why not get on the other channel, American English Guy 2? And looks like a couple people are showing up. Mahmood, how are you? Welcome, Saman. So yeah, if you're just joining, I am just going over my notes and reading them and kind of practicing for tomorrow. No pictures today. I'm working on the pictures still. We might call them slides, but I do have what I think will be most of the banners. So these things at the bottom of the screen are banners. That thing right at the bottom is called the ticker. So I think I have all of the banners. I know I need to add some things, but let's do this first one here. And I'll have a map tomorrow. Kentucky is a state in the United States located in the southeastern region. So I'll probably talk about what southeastern means. There'll be a map so that you can see it better. It became the 15th state to join the Union on June 1st, 1792. And I think I'll have something about the original 13 colonies, how Kentucky was not one of them. We actually talked about the 14th state too. That was Vermont. So if you want to go back, maybe look on YouTube. It's easier to search on YouTube. Facebook is kind of hard, but if you want to see a state lesson already done, there is one on Vermont. Kentucky is bordered by 7 states. Now, this should be a good one because it'll help you know how to pronounce some of the states. Some of the states can be tough. Kentucky is bordered by 7 states. Illinois. Yeah, I know. Illinois. I know there's an S, but it's pronounced Illinois. That's the state that Chicago is in. Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Missouri. So those states all border Kentucky. Oh, hey, I'm trying to remember to do this. Ask people to subscribe if this is your first time here, or if you're on Facebook. I think you can follow. Hey, Vietnam's in the house. Welcome. Bangladesh is in the house. Sir, what do you do to? Well, Safi, I'm just here practicing. I'm getting ready for a live English lesson I'm doing tomorrow. So, yeah, trying to hide that bald head. Yeah, but it doesn't cover my face. So, and it's a little cold. So, yeah, tomorrow I am planning this thing right here. The state of Kentucky. Yeah, that's going to be tomorrow's live stream. And what I'm doing today is I'm just going over my notes, seeing if I need to add anything, Mega's here. What's going on? I know you, Mega. Mega is from India. Rose John, hope you're doing well. Elvira, welcome. Ooh, Bangkok is in the house. Love it. Thailand, beautiful. Hope to visit one day. Be amazing. All right, the next one. Kentucky has a population of right around 4.5 million people. It is the 26th, hard to say, right? 26th biggest state by population. And I think I'll have a picture of population tomorrow. People. Every time you hear people, a population, think people. People, population. Bluegrass. I should probably have a picture of bluegrass. I'm a little colorblind, but I'm told there is some grass that looks a little blue. I know it's usually green. And that's why Kentucky is called the Bluegrass State, because it actually has a lot of this bluegrass. Kentucky is known as the Bluegrass State because the state has lots of bluegrass that can be found in many fields. So I think it would help if I had a picture of what bluegrass looks like. And if you aren't colorblind, maybe you can see that it is blue. And maybe I should change. Should I change, since we are talking about the bluegrass state, maybe this should be blue instead of whatever color that was before, orange, maybe. Italy's in the house. Welcome. Welcome. Uganda, India. Awesome. Great to see so many people. Thank you, Mahmoud. I appreciate that. Côte d'Ivoire is in the house. Côte d'Ivoire. All right, where's the next banner here? We did the population, didn't we? We did that. So tomorrow I will probably have a picture of Frankfort, Kentucky, state capital. So the state capital of Kentucky is Frankfort. Just checking for any typos maybe that I might have tomorrow. The state of Kentucky covers an area of around 40,409 square miles. A little practice reading large numbers in English here. 104,659 square kilometers. It is the 37th biggest state by area. So we talked about how one state might be large with their population if they have more people, but we're actually just talking about area here, how much land a state has. So it's the 37th biggest state, which tells me it's pretty small, right? Out of the 50 states, if this is 37th, not too big. Oh yeah, we Kentucky Derby. I'm not sure if anybody has heard of the Kentucky Derby, but Kentucky is famous for this horse race. Kentucky is famous for its horse racing, and the Kentucky Derby is held annually in Louisville. So maybe we need to talk a little bit about what annually is. Maybe I will have a slide. The next banner also has annually. So if you know what annually means, feel free to leave it in the chat. I will explain it in a minute, but if you know what annually means, it's an adjective that describes a noun. Did I read this? I think I did. Kentucky is famous for its horse racing, and the Kentucky Derby is held annually in Louisville. That's how you pronounce that city, Louisville, Kentucky. The Kentucky Derby is the oldest continuously held horse race in the United States. It has been run annually since 1875. So I think I might need to talk about what continuously is. That might be a pretty tough word for English learners. Is that Omron? Hey, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. There you go, Andrew. Nicely done. Andrew Mann got it. So annually means it happens every year, like once a year, every year. So the Kentucky Derby, if it has happened annually since, what was it, 1872, 1875? So if it has been run annually since 1875, it means it happens once a year, and they haven't missed a year, which is kind of crazy. Maybe I should do a little research on that. Has the Kentucky Derby ever been canceled? I could probably pull that up. I want to make sure, because we've had a couple big things, right? Since 1875, I'm just looking up on somehow Google. Okay. I'll pull this up. I think I can pull this up. Oh, lots of ads on this page, but you're kind of here doing a little research with me. I just want to make sure that I'm not giving any false information, but according to this website, I'll pull it up. Hopefully there are no bad pictures here. Get me canceled. But surviving many American challenges throughout history, Kentucky Derby has never been canceled. So I don't know, maybe they should have like the Kentucky Derby there, but who am I? This looks like a local news station from Louisville, Kentucky. 69 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, there have been a lot of like, and this looks like, this is an article from when the pandemic was at its worst, pretty much May 1st. So it's been postponed. We could talk about that. It's been postponed. So that means it still happens. It just doesn't happen when it's supposed to. So maybe there is a baseball game, but it's raining. So if the game is postponed, maybe the game was supposed to happen on Monday, but because of the rain, they played it on Tuesday. That's postponed. Canceled would mean it never happened. So apparently, and I can mention this tomorrow because now I know, the Kentucky Derby has never been canceled. It looked like it would have been postponed a couple times, maybe because of rain. You don't want the horses to be running in bad conditions. So the article says the Spanish flu pandemic, so that was in about like 1918. The Great Depression in the United States was in the 1930s. Yeah, so never been canceled. It's been only postponed twice. I can bring this up. It was postponed because of World War II, and it was postponed because of the coronavirus, which makes sense. Maybe I should change the background here to blue as well. I do have a blue background. Look at that. Since we're talking about the bluegrass state, maybe everything should be blue. All right, I have a few more banners to read. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it. Top G. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, annually. An activity that happens once in a year, every year. Right. Once a year, every year. So the Kentucky Derby has been held annually since, what did it say, 1875? Pretty impressive. 1875. All right, so we need to tomorrow talk about roses. Maybe I will have a picture of a horse that has one of these rose necklaces. The Kentucky Derby is sometimes called the Run for the Roses because when a horse wins, it gets a pretty necklace made of red roses to celebrate its big win. So I don't see any typos in that. That looks pretty good. Uh-oh. Here's a long one. At the Kentucky Derby, people wear really fancy hats and stylish clothes. Not easy to say, right? It's a special tradition for everyone, especially women, to wear big and beautiful hats that make them look extra special. So I will need to have a picture tomorrow for the real lesson. A woman with a big hat, I guess. That will be a good one. Take another sip of water here just to remind you, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
If this lesson is helping your English improve, don't forget to tap that like button and share it with a friend who's learning English.
Yeah, so that might be an option. If you have a friend, it's good to have a friend, and maybe they're learning English. Blue. Blue's a good color. Not a bad color. My favorite color is probably yellow, which I think I could change. I could change it to yellow, but I think it's a little harder to read too in yellow. And it's a little too bright, right? I like yellow, but if you're trying to learn English, I don't want to hurt your eyes. Blue is pretty good. Blue, black, white. They're all, I don't know if that's white, but that's kind of a beige, I guess. See, I don't want to hurt your eyes. I think that's the best one. I could do that, but I think that's the best. I think I already read that one too. Ooh, so I need to talk about this, a mint julep. I need to do a little research on it, but there is an alcoholic drink. It's made with bourbon. We will talk about bourbon in a minute, but it's made with mint. I know that, and bourbon, and it's served in a special silver glass or cup. So I need to do a little research on mint julep. I have some time today, so before tomorrow's live lesson, I will do that. Mint julep. Mammoth Cave National Park. This seems like a place I would like to visit. I didn't really know about this until I started researching Kentucky, but it seems pretty good. So Mammoth Cave National Park, located in Kentucky, is the world's largest known cave system. So tomorrow I need to have a picture of a cave, just in case people don't know what a cave is. Bears like to hibernate in caves. But so Mammoth Cave is over 400 miles long. And just in case you don't know what miles are, because Americans like to measure in miles, most of the world doesn't. It's 640 kilometers long. So pretty long cave system there. Love this word. Every time I hear caves, I need to talk about this word. It's not very common in English. You may never use it, but it's fun to say. In English, we call exploring caves spelunking. Spelunking. So maybe I will have a picture of a spelunker. That's a picture. That's a person who likes to explore caves. A spelunker. Yeah, and we can't talk about Kentucky without talking about bourbon. It's a type of alcohol, and I know there are many people watching who do not drink alcohol, which is very cool. But it's impossible to talk about Kentucky without talking about bourbon. It's like talking about Mexico without talking about tequila. It's kind of synonymous. When you hear one thing, you think of another thing. And there's a part of Mexico. Is it tequila? The part of Mexico that's famous for producing tequila. Is it called tequila? I think it is, with that blue agave grows. That's what we call it in English. But we're talking about bourbon. It's a type of whiskey. And I'm not going to get too much into what whiskey is. I would have to research it. And I don't think it's that important. But when you hear bourbon in English, think Kentucky. Because Kentucky is famous for its bourbon whiskey production. Around 95% of the world's bourbon is produced in the state. So I'm not sure if bourbon is famous around the world, but some people in the United States do drink it. So bourbon. And I have these three things here. In English, a distillery is a place that makes bourbon or whiskey any hard alcohol. I did do an entire English lesson on my YouTube channel, Speak English with This Guy. I did a whole lesson about alcohol. I think I talk about some of those differences. But a brewery is a place that makes beer, a brewery. And then something on my screen that's bugging me. I got rid of it. And a winery is a place that makes wine. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Distillery makes bourbon, spirits. Brewery makes beer. A winery makes wine. How about this? In eastern Kentucky, there are big mountains. Where's that? Do you hear that? I got rid of that. I think that was that page that I brought up about the Kentucky Derby. Somebody started talking. Kind of scared me. Hope it didn't scare you. Aliens. In eastern Kentucky, there are big mountains called Appalachian Mountains. They make the land look very pretty, and people do fun activities outside there. So that might be a little hard to say. The Appalachian Mountains. Those are the mountains that the United States has on the East Coast. The Rocky Mountains are on the West Coast. They're bigger, and I think they're more famous. Yeah, the Appalachian Mountains, the Rocky Mountains. All right. Next one here. I can't play music because I will get a copyright strike, but bluegrass music from Kentucky. Kentucky is known as the birthplace of bluegrass music, a genre that combines elements of traditional music, jazz, and blues. So maybe I'll add I have to do a little more research on bluegrass. And I have this right here. Bluegrass is a kind of special music that comes from Kentucky. It's named after the beautiful bluegrass plants that grow there. So I don't know if I should move bluegrass because I talked about it earlier. Talk about bluegrass all at once. Something I'll have to think about. All right, and I did, if you are a channel member, I did share a link on the Discord server. Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys. So if you're ever looking to listen to bluegrass music, Bill Monroe, look him up. There's a lot out there. Even on YouTube, there are some songs. But he is often referred to as the father of bluegrass music. So banjo, maybe I should put a picture of a banjo up. So banjos, that's kind of a well-known piece of bluegrass music. Got to talk a little bit about Fort Knox. Yeah. So a lot of gold is kept in Fort Knox. And I got to talk about this guy too. Abraham Lincoln, 16th president. So I got a little bit of work to do. And then I'm going to talk about the University of Kentucky and the University of Louisville. Those are both famous colleges or universities in Kentucky, and they're both known for their basketball programs. Both are famous for their basketball programs. So that's about it, I think. Those are all of I'm going to have to add some things, maybe take some things out. That's a little preview of the live stream that will be here on Facebook and on my other channel, my YouTube channel called Speak English with This Guy. Check it out. Maybe I'm thinking about changing the name. It's a little long, right? Speak English with This Guy. Maybe I could shorten it a little bit. Yeah, nobody's in the chat except Mahmood. There you go. Mahmood's here. Hey, Cuba. Marlene's here. Cuba's in the house. It looks like there are 28 people watching. So tomorrow, the real lesson, it will be a little bit better. Since I'm practicing right now, it'll be a little bit better. There will be pictures, but maybe this served as like a nice preview. you heard some of the information today, and then if you tune in tomorrow, you're like, oh, I heard that. I heard that. I find it helpful if you watch lessons again and again, which is what I do when I'm practicing my... Oh, Omran, this live stream is not on my regular YouTube channel. It is on American English Guy 2. Since I'm just practicing, I didn't want to put it on the real channel. So it's just streaming here on Facebook, and it's streaming on my other channel live called American English Guy 2. Hey, see you. Hope you're doing well. Ecuador, Juan. Welcome, man. All right, so I am going to skedaddle. Hey, India. Welcome. Do you know that term, skedaddle? It's just another way you can say I got to leave. I got to skedaddle. Get rid of all that stuff. But I do want to thank you for joining me on this random Monday morning. I don't usually stream here, but we've been going at it for about 26 minutes. Yeah, this will be available on the podcast, so hopefully help people with their English listening comprehension. And like I said, tomorrow, about the same time tomorrow, we'll do it for real. How about that? All right. Thank you, Rose. No, thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right. I'm out of here. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Maybe where you're watching, it's nighttime. So maybe you're getting ready to go to bed. I know there were some people here from India and Thailand. I would think that it's close to bed. Hang on. What time is it? What time is it in Bangkok, Thailand? Hey Siri, what time is it in Bangkok? Siri's a little slow today, but she says she's on it. I don't think she's on it. Siri, you're letting me down here. We're live. She's still on it. Siri, what are you good for? Come on. Maybe my internet. My internet's not down because you're still watching me. What time is it in Thailand? Oh, it's 8 p.m.? Not too bad, right? Okay, in the Philippines, it's 9. So not too bad. Oh, Omran, you're on your way to work in the United Arab Emirates? Oh, night shift. Works the night shift. So we have like first shift, second shift. That's in the afternoon. But the night shift or the graveyard shift or the overnight shift, whew. So you must be a night owl. All right, man. Well, I hope you have a good sugar daddy. What's going on? 8 p.m. Thank you so much. 8 p.m. All right, Brazil. Yeah, we are on the same time. No, it's 9 here. It's 9 here where I live. So in Brazil, it's an hour later. So I'm going to Brazil in April of next year. Rio. Yeah, got to do a little planning for that too. All right, Mauritania. It looks like it's 1 p.m. the afternoon. I bet it's hot. I bet it's hot in Mauritania. Yeah, man, I'm happy you're here too. Happy you're here too. Mexico, 7 a.m. Leslie, I was just talking about Mexico. Tequila. There's a region of Mexico that's famous for making tequila, just like Kentucky is famous for its bourbon. So I would love to visit Mexico one day too. Chichen Itza on the Yucatan Peninsula, not far from Cancun. Beautiful. Oh, Mexico though. Ooh. If you watch soccer, the U.S. and Mexico had a little bit of a tussle there. Had a match. USA won 3-0. Sorry, Leslie. USA won. But it got a little heated too. Got a little heated. But hey, I still love Mexico. Would love to visit one day. All right, I must go. But I want you to all thank... Oh my gosh, you live in Bali? I would love to take my wife to Bali one day. Beautiful water. Although I watched a video yesterday, Drew Binsky, if anybody watches him, he went to Saudi Arabia for his honeymoon, and wow, the water, I never knew in the Red Sea how beautiful the water was. So, of course, Bali, a lot of Americans like to go to Bali because it's beautiful. But maybe, maybe Saudi Arabia will be a new tourist destination for people. I don't know. Bali. Wow. Beautiful. Love to visit one day. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. Gotta go. Do a little research. Gotta go work out. All that kind of stuff. But I hope you have a good rest of the day Monday. Maybe stop by tomorrow when the real lesson happens. All right. Adios, amigos.